Books and Booze, a bookish and wine-induced podcast from two book lovers who have never met. That is the power of the internet.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm well, how are you? I feel like it's been a long time since we recorded.
It has been. I can't believe it. I'm actually just about to pop open a little bit of white wine before my date with Mark.
White
yes,
wine?
white. I've decided to go for a white wine because A, it's a little bit early, and I also just thought that, you know, today's episode is going to be about spooky 5-star prediction books that we hope are going to be really good, and, you know, it's coming up to Halloween, so it's going to be great to talk about spooky books, and it's a little bit scary because I don't normally like white wine, so...
Plus, it's warming up here in Australia.
Exactly.
It's 30 degrees here in Sydney today.
Really?
Yeah.
Crikey.
Yeah, so earlier in the week we had 27 days and now it's 30.
God, yeah, I think yesterday it was 27 here in Brisbane. It was beautiful. Like,
Yeah.
It feels so nice to not have to go to work in like a big scarf and a coat anymore.
Yeah, I like it.
It's so good. But then I forget that the bloody stupid office has like aircon and then I freeze for the rest of the day.
Yeah. Ours is like that too.
So I'm drinking a Loophole. It's a 2017 Sauvignon Blanc from southeastern Australia, and it says delicious aromas of citrus and passion fruit, easy drinking with refreshing, zesty finish, and food matching is like fish and chips. And I can definitely get that. Like when we have sushi later, we're going to go down onto like Kedron Brook and be like just have a blanket out with some white wine and sushi. This is going to be the perfect pairing.
Well, I have Sauvignon Blanc as well today. So I have the can. Remember I mentioned the can? I haven't cracked it open yet, but I thought today would be a good time. So it's Crafters Union, but it's in New Zealand from Marlborough. So
it's such a cute can too.
You hear that?
Nice pop. Have you heard that from Wine and Crime, that podcast?
No, I haven't listened to them yet. Oh, that's really nice.
So is it?
Yeah, that's really like fruity. Also, speaking of, so I missed the AJ Finn interview because your Wi-Fi didn't work, but I did have a perfect wine to pair it with, and I don't want it to go to waste. So it's called Singing in the Rain.
Ah, is it
you
a
know
rosé?
how it's a rosé, but you know how our protagonist in The Woman in the Window is always watching old movies.
Yes.
So I thought this one was perfect, and the label is like vintage, so it's Mount Pleasant Hunter Valley Rosé.
Okay. It's
Nice.
beautiful. I love the label.
I haven't opened it yet, but it's Winery of the Year, Halliday.
Oh, very nice.
Let everyone know when I try that one.
Yeah, you'll have to post a photo on Instagram.
Yeah, it's really pretty actually. I don't want to open it. I want to save it for something special.
Well, Mark's actually been so clever. So, like, we have all these I suck at plants. I really suck. So, like, everything I try and plant just dies. So I got told that these creeper plants grow really fast and you can just neglect them and they just still, like, thrive. So I'm like, yes, that sounds perfect for someone like me. And Mark's like, well, when you've got special, like, wine bottles, why don't you just, like, put the creeper plant inside the wine bottle with some water, and then you get to keep the nice bottle with a nice label, and just have the creeper plant, like, dangling out of the bottle. So we're going to do that as soon as our plant grows. Yeah, it's getting, like, all its, like, roots now. It's all growing. It's very cute. I like it. I feel like a proud mother.
Okay, so... today we are going spooky, aren't we?
We are indeed.
I don't read a lot of horror. Do you read a lot of horror?
I listen to Books in the Freezer podcast, and they focus on horror books, and I've read a few books from their recommendations. One that I love, I spoke about it previously on our podcast, called The Cabin at the End of the World by Paul Tremblay. Unfortunately, the others they've recommended haven't been for me. I'm more of a thriller reader, but I have chosen 3 horror books for this episode. So
yeah, I picked 3 too. So what we were thinking was, so Jade will do 3 and I will do 3, and then we will put them up to vote, and you will pick one from each of our lists, and then Jade and I will read them, and you guys can read them too if you like, and then we will come back on and we will discuss if they were worth the hype, and if we thought they were 5-star reads, and if we recommend them.
Yeah. I don't know if mine are like extremely hyped up. They're just books that I have heard a few good things about, or they're good authors, or, you know, so they might not be overly popular. So I'm going to, you know, explain them a little bit. I won't go too in depth because I have a lot of stuff to share with Boozy Banter today because you've neglected me, and I now have a lot of exciting stuff to talk to you about.
Cool. Well, that's good because we did have a while. We did have a while where we were like, same stuff as last week.
Yeah, and now it's actually been like a substantial amount of time, and we've both been able to enjoy other stuff.
Yeah, I think it's been about a week and a half almost.
Yeah.
So, do you want to go first?
Okay, should I do like one book and then you do another book?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, cool. So the first book that I've decided to pick is Haunted by Chuck Palahniuk.
Okay.
Have you heard of it?
I've heard of it.
Okay. He wrote Fight Club. Yes. Yeah, so he's the author of Choke and Fight Club, and Fight Club is, like, I haven't read it, but I've watched the movie. It's incredible, and Stripped Cover Lit on YouTube absolutely love Fight Club. So I am very excited for this book. It'll be my first Chuck Palahniuk book. On Goodreads, it's got, like, over 70,000 ratings, and it's almost 4 stars. So on average. So I think that's, you know, if it isn't a 5-star book for me, then, but I am very harsh. But so this book is about a bunch of people who answer this ad that's headlined Artist Retreat, abandon your life for 3 months, and then they can go away to this retreat and create this masterpiece that they have been trying to work on, but now they have no distractions. But when they get there, it's like this old, weird, ornate theatre, and it's very isolated. Food, power, heat, and everything is all in really short supply. And they all want to be the hero for, like, this show that's obviously going to be made on their experience being in such a horrible situation. So it sounds pretty scary about, like, what lengths these guys would go to be the hero. Apparently it's pretty freaky, so I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. That sounds pretty good.
What about you?
So my one is Bird Box by Josh Malerman. Have you heard of that one?
Yes.
So
I have.
It always gets recommended. So you and I are both on the MFM book club.
Yes.
So that's my favourite murder book club where murderinos talk about books that they like. And I always see this one come up. So the synopsis of this one is, something is out there, something terrifying that must not be seen. One glimpse of it and a person is driven to deadly violence. No one knows what it is or where it came from. 5 years after it began, a handful of scattered survivors remain, including Mallory and her 2 young children. Living in an abandoned house near the river, she has dreamed of fleeing to a place that might be safe. Now that the boy and girl are 4, it is time to go, but the journey ahead will be terrifying. 20 miles downriver in a rowboat, blindfolded, with nothing to rely on but her wits and the children's trained ears. One wrong choice and they will die. Something is following them all the while, but is it man or monster? Interweaving past and present, Bird Box is a snapshot of a world unraveled that will scare you to your core. So I picked this one because I always see it recommended, and it just really, it's meant to be crawlingly creepy with a unique plot that will chill you to your bones. Addictive from start to finish, utterly fascinating, obsessive, and sublime. A book that you don't want to end and leaves you wanting more.
I've been thinking about picking it up, but because it's more kind of, what is it, like, kind of like an apocalypse-y type kind of a thing, isn't it?
I think it's a bit dystopian. It sounds dystopian.
Yeah.
The world is different as you know it.
Yeah, and that's not, it's not normally my thing, which is why I've been hesitant, but so many people love it. And it's actually becoming a Netflix TV show with Sandra Bullock.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and everyone's like so like interested in how they're going to create it, because like through the whole book apparently this chick is like blindfolded or something.
Blindfolded, yeah.
So how are we going to see it? Like, are we just going to like, because I think we're in her head or something through the whole book, so how are they going to do it? But yeah, that's super interesting.
I'd be fascinated to know how it reads as well for someone that's blindfolded.
Exactly, yeah. I'd like to give it a go because it has been highly recommended by copious amounts of people.
Yeah.
The next book I chose is, just give me a sec, I've lost the author's name. Pen Pal by Dathan Orbach. I don't know where he's from. Let me just check. He's Southern US. That's where he's born. But it kind of sounds like a German name. Or
German or like Dutch.
Yeah. But anyway, so this book, I think also Books in the Freezer recommended this. This one is about this man who investigates all these like seemingly unrelated, bizarre and viciously horrific events that are from his childhood, but they don't have anything like directly involved with his life or something. But then it turns out, like, as he investigates it, they've shaped the entirety of his life. And like on the blurb, it says, "How much do you remember from your childhood?" And I think for me, this one would be like exceptionally scary because I don't have any memories of my childhood.
Okay.
So the fact that this guy doesn't have much memories, or he's like trying to explore his memories, is going to be super creepy for me. And this one, I had a look. This one was, what was it rated? Oh, sure. I think it was also almost like a 4-star. Yeah, like almost a 4-star thingy on Goodreads.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's got 10,000 ratings and almost 4 stars as well. So not quite as many ratings as Haunted, but I'm enjoying these 4-star ratings and I'm trusting Goodreads.
I know, yeah. So my next one is In Cold Blood by Truman Capote.
Okay, I have heard of it, but I don't know what it's about.
Okay. So November 15th, 1959, in a small town of Holcomb, Kansas, 4 members of the Clutter family were savagely murdered by blast from a shotgun held a few inches from their faces. There was no apparent motive for the crime, and there was almost no clues. So I snuck in some true crime, because what is scarier than true crime? Really.
I love it. Yes, we need true crime.
It's meant to be very genre-defying, though, so I'm thinking that it'll be a little bit like I'll Be Gone in the Dark, where it's kind of a personal telling of the murders. And it's meant to be really beautifully written, and Harper Lee, the author of To Kill a Mockingbird, actually helped Truman Capote write it. And every single review I read wrote great or masterpiece or a classic. So it's been on my list for a really long time to read. I just haven't picked it up for one reason or another. So I snuck that on the list.
Oh, very cool. I would love to read that, actually. I think I saw it the other day on Audible because I was looking for new books to download.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that would be a very good one. My last pick is The Elementals by Michael Dowell. Have you heard of that?
No, I'm glad we didn't pick anything the same because I actually put a spare in here just in case.
Well, yeah, oh shit, sorry. Well, I wouldn't put it past us to pick the same thing, but I feel like this is also a bit of like a Books in the Freezer podcast episode, because this one I actually heard about on the latest episode of Books in the Freezer. They interviewed Katie from Chapter Stacks. Do you know her? She's the biggest Gillian Flynn fan I know, or like, you know, kind of know, because I just know her internet persona. But so Katie went on, and because she loves Gillian Flynn, I want to trust what other stuff she has recommended. And she recommended The Elementals by Michael Dowell. And this one is about 3 Victorian summer houses. 2 are in use and 1 is filling slowly with sand. And it's empty apart from the horrors that are shaping nightmares from within. And this family visits, but something wants them to die and is thinking about ways to kill them. And she says that it's one of the creepiest books she's ever read. So I am looking forward to that because she loves Gillian Flynn, like both of us, I think.
Yes, yeah, I do like Gillian Flynn.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I think this one's quite an old book, I think. And it's only got like 4,000 ratings on Goodreads, but it's also got an over 4-star average review on Goodreads. So they are the books that I would recommend.
Okay.
It would be 5-star ratings at least.
So my last one is House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielkowski.
Yes.
Have you heard of this one?
I have. I've heard it's petrifying.
Yeah,
but I've
me
also
too.
heard some people have like said that they were a bit underwhelmed by it, but I'm hoping that that's just, you know, people that love horror and might be a bit more attuned to horror stories.
So the synopsis of this one is, years ago, when the House of Leaves was first being passed around, it was nothing more than a badly bundled heap of paper, parts of which would occasionally surface on the internet. No one could have anticipated the small but devoted following this terrifying story would soon command. Starting with an odd assortment of marginalized youth, musicians, tattoo artists, programmers, strippers, environmentalists, and adrenaline junkies, the book eventually made its way into the hands of older generations, who not only found themselves in those strangely arranged pages, but also discovered a way back into the lives of their estranged children. This book needs to be read in physical copy as it has coloured words, vertical footnotes, and second and third appendices. The story remains unchanged, focusing on a young family that moves into a small home on Ash Tree Lane, where they discover something is terribly wrong. Their house is bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. So I liked the sound of this one because to me it sounds like a folklore or a myth kind of thing. Like, you know, one of those silly old urban legends or like chain mails. You know, did you used to get those chain emails or they tell you the story like there was a young girl and she put her hand and for the dog to lick her hand or whatever, and then it ended up that there was a man under the bed. Like it has a feel like that.
I've heard that, yeah.
Have you heard that one? Yeah. So the dog was
I have.
lick her hand and then eventually the dog is dead and it's actually a man licking her hand under the bed. That always creeps me out.
That story, I remember that from when I was a child.
Yeah. So that's what this book, like, when I was reading about it, I think it's a book that you have to experience. So there's like a whole ride that kind of goes along with it, and I just really liked the idea of it.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely interested in reading that one. And it is more of a classic as well, is it not?
I don't know, but I think it maybe like it's from the 90s or something like that, or the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And it sounds like
older.
people just used to hand it around.
Yeah, I would definitely like to read that one. So let's see what people pick for us.
Yeah. So, I mean, they all sound really good, so I'm really excited.
Well, before we start busy banter, I have some listener questions. Shall I?
I have as well.
Okay, you start.
That's from a little while ago, so the person probably, I don't know that I have their name though, because I just remember the question, but I didn't remember what photo she posted the question on. So, the question was, how do you feel about annotations in books? So that's like marking up a book or quote, like writing in the margins or highlighting and stuff like that. So what is your opinion on that, Jade?
I used to do it a lot, especially with like, I used to read a lot of like spiritual self-help books, a lot. And so I would definitely highlight them. I think I used to do it with quotes in some normal novels that I used to read, some fiction books, but I just don't really feel the need for it right now. But I'm not against it at all. Like if I wanted to, I would.
Yeah. See, I do.
I just find it more like if it's something spiritual or something and I just need like a pick-me-up, then I can just open the book and see all these lovely colours and I'm like, there's a nice quote that I wanted to remember. Yeah,
I really like, if I really like a quote or something like that and I want to remember it, or if I need to jot something down to leave in a review or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I like it. I don't mind it. I like seeing someone's journey through a book.
Yeah, same. Like, I think that a book should be loved and you should see a history. I think it's lovely. Like, well, that's one of the things I actually love most about going to a secondhand bookstore and finding, like, a personal inscription on the front.
Yeah.
From someone that I don't know, and they're like, oh, this is why I've gifted you this book, or, like, you know, just something sweet, like a little message. I'm like, oh, wow. Like, I don't know why. It kind of, maybe I'm just nosy, but I just love it.
Yeah, it's having a peek into someone else's life, isn't it?
Yeah, and to see other people's like dog-earing pages or like underlining things in pencil
Yeah.
or even like how I do it like with colourful highlighters. Like,
Yeah.
I really enjoy it.
I do too. I think it adds
Yeah.
something to a book. But I know a
Definitely.
lot of people are very against it.
I think
Very.
AJ Finn, when I met him and interviewed him in the hotel the other day, I think he was horrified by the copy of my book. He was like,
I heard him say that.
Yeah, his face was like, oh dear, what have you done to my beloved book?
Yeah, I wonder if it would be different seeing your own book kind of marked up. No, I think I'd still like it. But I think he came across very, like, proper and, very, like, he's very tidy, nicely put together and stuff like that. Maybe we were a bit more, boho.
Well, we have a listener question from bookish_.thoughts. She says, do you have any bookish tattoos? If so, what are they? If not, would you get one?
Okay. I have only just got my first tattoo recently, and that's just, my star sign. So that's on my arm. Yeah, Taurus. So it's the star chart of the Taurus constellation, but it's with flowers instead of stars, obviously. I don't think I'd be opposed to getting a bookish tattoo, but I think I would have to really think about it. Like, yeah. I don't know if I would get a quote from a book or something like that.
Yeah.
What about you? You do have one, don't you?
I've got I lose count. I think Margaret and I were actually talking about it last night. I think we've counted that I've got 9 tattoos now. I don't know. I lose count and I want more, but he's like, no. So I actually really, really want a tattoo on, I don't know where yet, because I'm saving certain parts of my body for when I have children, but I really want like a stack of books that kind of fly off into the distance. So like a stack, and then like they start to open and unfurl, and then like the pages turn into like birds. But I think it's quite a common. I don't want to like sound rude if someone has this tattoo, but I think it's something kind of generic. Whereas I'd love to get something a little bit more unique. So that's why I'm not rushing to get it. Otherwise, all my tattoos have stories. So in another episode, if people want to know my stories, they can. But none of them are really book related. I've got one on my thumb, which is like I think it's like a Viking symbol, and it's for creating your own universe, but that's more for writing.
That's I'm getting that on my arm.
What?
Yeah, but like for my kids though. So I'm getting like for my boys, and then I was going to do so I was going to alternate it because obviously I've had 2 miscarriages in between my boys, and I was going to do like 4 of those kind of like arrowhead kind of things on my arm for my boys.
Oh, wow.
I didn't even know you had that one.
That's insane. You know, I've got another friend of mine that I was super close with in school. And like she actually asked me the other day to come and like be her witness when she marries this guy that I introduced her to years ago. And she got the same tattoo on the same thumb before she knew that I already had it. And I was like, that's so weird. Like, and it's not like I hide it. It's always in photos and stuff. And she just didn't know. And then I was like, wow, like it's connectedness. Yeah, so one day, as soon as I can figure out what I want, like I've seen people with Harry Potter tattoos and stuff, and that's great, but it's not me.
Yeah.
I need to find something. All my tattoos are very symbolic, and I need it to be very special when it happens. Like I'm saving my shoulder blade for one day when Mark and I have a baby. I want their handprint when they're still very little. I want the handprint on my shoulder blade, but very like faded, and you can see the fingerprints and stuff like that, like almost grey, not black, like it's fading into my skin. Like I want a handprint, and then my next child, I want a footprint on the other shoulder.
No, yeah, nice.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saving my body for. the next question we've got is from Princess Kiwi 07, and she said, "What are some books you'll be reading this fall?"
So she must be American. I assume she would have been New Zealandish.
Yeah, because we're heading into spring and then summer.
Yes, yeah. So we'll do spring, yeah.
Yeah.
So I actually put up a photo of my TBR pile, which is getting insane. So I kind of put myself on a book buying ban, with the exception of like a few things like Leanne Moriarty's next book is coming out and stuff like that. So I put a call out for anyone who wanted to do some buddy reads with me, and I had a few people that said they wanted to. So I've got, next month I'm going to read Final Girls, The Ruin, and The Nowhere Child with some lovely listeners. And then Jade and I are also starting a Harry Potter reread.
Yes, I'm very nervous for this one. Because I haven't read Harry Potter since it first came out when I was a kid. And I just hope that I don't ruin it from my childhood, because it was so special when I was a kid. Are
you going to read or are you going to listen to it on audiobook?
Listen on audio. So a friend of ours called Amy, she's also a huge book lover. She also with 2 kids, actually. She's lending me her copy of The Philosopher's Stone. So I'm really looking forward to it. So I'll have the physical copy too, but I've heard that the audiobook is like incredible and like really transports you there, and it's just like a masterpiece. So I'm really looking forward to listening to it on audio. Also because I don't really have a lot of time right now to to read physical books. Like audiobooks have just been helping me so much lately.
Yeah. So by the time this episode comes out, we will probably have already started, I would say, reading. But we will put up a post, and if people want to read along, we love when people read along.
Yes. So if you want to read Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone with us and just revisit that incredible Hogwarts environment.
Yeah. Because it is September, and that's when everyone is meant to start rereading Harry Potter, apparently, because that's when he goes back to school.
Yeah.
And it's Sorcerer's Stone in America.
Oh, is it?
Our American listeners, yes.
Oh, I didn't even know that. So I actually have, that leads me right on to the next question from Jade_1292. She asks, what Hogwarts houses are we in?
Oh, we're the same!
Yeah!
What are we? We are Ravenclaw.
1, 2, I was gonna be like, let's still do it. Let's just like edit that shit out or not. Like, it was a fail, but we can still say it. 1, 2, 3. Ravenclaw! This is not working. Ravenclaw. We're Ravenclaw.
We're Ravenclaw.
Why are you Ravenclaw?
On that display, though, we wouldn't probably sound pretty dumb. I think we would be Ravenclaw. I don't know. Do you know what? When I was growing up, I always thought I would be Gryffindor.
Yeah.
And then the more and more tests I did, it said I was Ravenclaw. And it's probably because I'm a bit of a know-it-all. I guess. I don't know. I always thought I'd be a bit like Hermione or something like that, but no, I'm a Ravenclaw. So yeah, probably because I'm a bit of a know-it-all, and I don't know. Why are you a Ravenclaw?
I don't know what it is. Like, even when I started reading the books, and I think it might have been Cho from Ravenclaw who started dating Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what book that was in, but Cho Chang or something starts dating Harry Potter. It might be during the Goblet of Fire or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that dance together.
Yeah, but my whole life I've just identified with the Ravenclaw side. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, I love books. I love learning. Yeah. I'm like, people that know me might not think so because I'm a bit ditzy, but I actually am quite intellectual. Hey.
Do you have a Patronus? Have you been on Pottermore?
I have, and they put me in bloody Hufflepuff.
Oh.
And then they even, like, so I did my, what's that thing called?
The Patronus.
Your Patronus. I think I was like a bloody, like, pig or a rat. I was like, everyone else is getting, you're so nice. Like, everyone else is getting cats or like deers or something's usual. I was like a bloody rat. And I was like, this does not work. I'm not a yeah.
New account. Use your Books and News email address.
No, not happy about my results. So I'm like, no, screw you. I am a Ravenclaw, and I don't know what my Patronus is, but I'd like to think it's like an eagle or something cool. Oh, fucking rat. Boozy banner.
Boozy banter. I have so much.
Yeah, so do I. So you start, and then I'll go into my stuff.
Okay, so Mitch and I started watching Ozark season 2. So Ozark is a Netflix show about a money launderer who's laundering some money for the cartel, and he ends up in the Ozarks, and he meets all these fun, interesting kind of some townspeople and stuff like that, and there's just a lot of drama and stuff like that. But Jason Bateman's in that, and Laura Linney, and it's really good. We really like it. It's very like moody and dark and kind of creepy, and it's fun. I am still watching Death Note, which is the anime show that I had mentioned, and I'm obsessed with it. It's so bloody good.
Okay.
So good. I wonder if anyone's watched it. I want to talk to people about it. I only have like one person to talk about. So if you've watched Death Note, hit me up. I want to talk about it.
I'm not a big animation person whatsoever.
Neither am I. Like I've watched Sailor Moon, obviously, but everyone's kind of watched Sailor Moon. But when my friend recommended it, you've never watched Sailor Moon?
No.
I'm sure if you see pictures of her, you'll know what she looks like.
How do you spell it?
Sailor, so like as in like sailor.
Oh, and then Moon. Let's have a look. I've never watched it, but
you know what it is, yeah?
Well, I've seen her picture before.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's Japanese. But this show is really, really fascinating. I'm really liking it. I finished Pieces of Her by Karen Slaughter.
I haven't even started it.
Yeah, I need to get on that because we need to record an episode.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not available on audio, so I don't know what I'm gonna have. No. Well, it might be in America, but in Australia it's not available yet. So I'm just like, I don't know what I'm gonna do because I'm struggling a lot to find time to pick up physical books. But I'll try get on it tomorrow.
And then I finished The Child by Fiona Barton.
Okay.
And then I'm in the middle of Hidden Bodies by Carolyn Kepnes.
Yay!
Which is the second Joe story, and we are impatiently waiting for it to come on Netflix in Australia. And everyone's watched it, and the bloody second episode will be up soon, and I'm dying, and I don't want to see any spoilers. Like, obviously you know what happens, but like, I see it pop up on Facebook all the time, and I'm like, get away. I don't want to read it.
Yeah, so look, I every night when we get home from work, because now that I've got this, I go onto Netflix, and like Mark's like, Jade, it's not on yet, just relax, be calm, and I'm like, I need a drink, and like I won't do anything else, I won't do anything until I see if you started yet. So yeah, he's just like shaking his head at me. But I'm so excited, and I just don't know what to do with my life without it. And then, but like, I just want to talk briefly about the You Netflix trailer. I think it's shit.
I haven't watched it because I didn't want to see any like potential spoilers. Like I watched it way before I read the books.
Oh, okay. So to me, it just doesn't give that creepy element to the book. That like it doesn't do the book justice. The trailer. So I just really hope that. I mean, the trailer's supposed to be all the incredible stuff that happened. I don't like the trailer, but let's see how we go.
We'll see. And then what else? Oh, I started the Reese Witherspoon pick.
Oh, that what?
Where the Crawdads sing?
Yes.
So I started listening to that on audiobook. I found this app that you might like actually. It's called Scribed. And you pay a monthly. Yeah, so you pay a monthly subscription. I think it's like $11, but it's unlimited audiobooks.
Wow.
So it's not like I think you get 2 credits through Audible.
Oh, yeah, 1 a month.
1 a month. So this one is unlimited. It doesn't have everything though, but this one was on there, and so I was excited and I downloaded it, and I really, I listened to about 3 hours of it yesterday while I was driving, and I really like the narrator, and the story's really interesting, and, like I've kind of been underwhelmed by the last couple of Reese Witherspoon picks, but this one I'm really enjoying. Like it's not necessarily a thriller, like it's very story based, but it's a beautiful story. And like when I read the description, I thought it might be a little bit about might be kind of similar to The Marsh King's Daughter, where it's a very, but it's not. It's so much better because you and I are both kind of, yeah.
We didn't like The Marsh King's Daughter.
There is a lot of story like about her talking about living on the marsh, but it's interesting. Like it's not just I really like it, and it's set in the South, and I kind of like stuff like that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, it's on my wish list on Audible, so I might go grab a copy of that then, because I think the only other book I've read through Reese Witherspoon's recommendations is Something in the Water by Catherine Stedman, which I really enjoyed.
You do? Because I've got that on my TBR pile. I picked it up Big W. It was quite cheap.
Okay.
Like our Walmart kind of, I guess. So we have a lot of Americans that listen that probably don't know what we're on about sometimes.
It was a good book. It's just, so the main character will irritate the hell out of you.
I think,
so as long as you can deal.
Yeah. I think the next book I'm going to read is something lighter though, because like I mentioned, I've read a lot of there was Scrublands that had a little bit of child-based stuff, and then there was The Child, which was all about babies, and then there was The Ones You Trust, which is about kids, and then there was Piece of Her, which there's a bit of kid stuff in there, so I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't.
Yeah.
Even where the crawdads sing at the beginning, like the mum kind of leaves the family to fend for themselves, so I'm going to read something lighter, but it's really good. I think you'll probably, I don't know, I think you'll like it. Like, it's not a thriller per se, but there is a murder mystery element to it.
Okay. What are you going to pick up next that's lighter?
Remember that book that I had mentioned to you, the Lost Words bookshop?
Mm.
I've got that, so I think I'm going to read that.
Okay. Very nice. Is that all from you for Busy Banter?
Oh, and Mitch and I watched Deadpool 2 last night.
It's so good. I liked it.
He's so gorgeous. Oh my goodness.
I know. Even when his face is
all messed
it's
up.
Just I don't care.
He's just so funny. Did you ever watch Two Guys, a Girl and a Pizza Place?
No.
So that had him when he was very young in it, and he's very much like that. His character is Berg, and he's just so funny and so silly, and there's, some violence and a backstory, and it's a good, I'm not big on the superhero movies, but he's like the anti-hero.
Yeah, well, Mark loves his superhero movies, so he dragged me to the cinema, and I was like, oh god. I actually really did enjoy the first Deadpool. But, whenever we go to the cinema, we watch, the big blockbusters or the Marvel films or something. And I was just like, God, I would just love to come and watch, a girly movie at the cinema. But we went to watch Deadpool 2. And I enjoyed Deadpool 2 more than Mark did. I found it great. He had, a little bit of stuff that he found wasn't as good as... And it wasn't as good as the first, let's be honest. But Deadpool 2... Was so different. And the ending was so funny, when he was mocking the Green Lantern, just slating it. I was like, oh, brilliant.
Yeah, I was cracking up, and Mitch is like, why is it so funny? I'm like, because he hates that movie. That movie is a piece of crap.
Yeah, it was terrible. I didn't actually watch it, but Mark was just in tears laughing about that. It's brilliant. So, my Boozy Banter, I'll start with saying that I listened to a new podcast. I binged it. It's only a 6-episode podcast, and it's called Dirty John.
Oh, okay. Mitch loves that. I haven't listened to it.
Oh my, I was so addicted, and I actually, So I just keep deleting the podcast I'm busy listening to now because, like, none of them are as captivating as Dirty John. Even, like, so the new one, Dr. Death, which I've also just started listening to, it's great, but Dirty John was so good. So it's like a true crime story, and it's, like, it's about the life, and it exploits him, of, like, John Meehan, and he was this LA Times journalist, LA Times journalist Christopher Goffard first heard of Meehan when he learned that the police were investigating a possible murder in Newport Beach. And this podcast is kind of based around Meehan's relationship with Deborah Newell, who, I'm sorry, a lot of people are, like, rooting for her, but I think her and her family were stupid as fuck. Because, so, Deborah met him on this internet dating site, and he was just like the person who wanted to just love her and scratch her back and give her foot rubs, and, like, he was just so wonderful, and he said that he was like a surgeon or something, but he never went to work. His scrubs were always clean. The daughter used to work in one of those like hospital environments, and she was like, this is weird. And so Deborah started noticing weird things, and it's all about, like, who, I don't want to spoil it, but he isn't who he says he is, basically.
Yeah.
But when I listened to it, I was just like, and, like, so he's doing all these things that you can just tell are just so fucked. And, like, this woman is just like, oh, no, it's okay, like, oh, I'll get over that. Like, just so blind to what's right in front of her. I was like, oh. So, yeah, but it was brilliant, and I don't know what to do with my life now without Dirty John.
You can wait for the TV show to come out of it.
Is there a TV show?
Yeah, it's going to be, I think it's Eric Bana
Ooh.
and Connie Britton. Do you know Connie Britton?
No. I'm not.
She's in, did you ever watch American Horror Story?
I did, yeah.
The first season, the mum.
Oh, gosh. First season was a long time
And
ago.
then she's in Nashville as well, that show Nashville.
I haven't seen that.
Connie Britton. I think she, like, from what I've heard, I think she'll be pretty good. She's a pretty good actress.
Connie Britton. I am Googling it.
And yeah, Eric Bana, I think, is going to play the Dirty John character.
Yeah, I see her. I don't think I've watched anything that she's in, actually. But obviously I did watch American Horror Story. I loved it, but...
So that was, Murder House, which, I think they are, the next season of, American Horror Story is going to be The Murder House Revisited and Coven.
Oh, I loved Coven. It was my favourite season.
Really? See, Murder House and Asylum are my favourites. And then Coven, I stopped halfway through, but maybe I should try it again.
Oh, but I have a big fascination about witches.
No,
Like,
me
when
too. I was obsessed with them when I was a kid.
When I was a kid, I thought that I was a witch, and when I got to an age when I was allowed to buy my own books, I started buying books about spells and potions, and I would do them with my friends, and we thought that we were bloody witches.
Yeah, I think so many girls go through that phase. I wonder why. I actually had a friend message me the other day, and she was saying, I just had a funny flashback to that time that we went to Lake Berryessa and we took all the stuff to make, like, potions and stuff. I was like, oh, yeah, that's so embarrassing now.
Like, I'm just remembering all this shit I used to do. Like, I was so convinced that I was this witch. And it's funny because, like, when we were kids and we watched or listened or read, like, fairy tales, the witches were the baddies. So why did we want to be a witch? Like,
I was thinking about, you remember the movie version of Roald Dahl's Witches? How creepy they were?
I don't think I watched it.
They were so terrifying.
Really?
Yeah, bring up a picture of Angelica Houston and the witches. It was like, they were terrifying. They were like bald and they had these like warty long noses and stuff like that.
I don't even know where.
We wanted to be like Glinda, the good witch, and Liz was.
No, I don't even know what I wanted to do. I remember having like this cute, like pocket-sized pink book, and I think it was like love spells, or I don't know what it was, but it was bloody crap. And I was convinced, and I think eventually my mother actually took it off me, and she was like, "Just stop." The next thing from our busy banter is that I read J.T. Ellison's new book.
I know, I saw your review.
So I wanted to elaborate because my review is a 3-star review, and whereas her last book, Lie to Me, I gave it 5 stars. I would have given 100 stars if I could have, and I actually made Mark read it, and he finished it recently, and he loved it. He was like, wow, like, he kind of understands my love of thriller through this book. And I was like, oh, that's amazing. So I was so excited to read Tear Me Apart by J.T. Ellison. But sadly, this one didn't meet my expectations. But that said, I think that if it was the first J.T. Ellison book I'd read, I would have loved it. But
I think I've read everything by her almost,
Yeah, I think I was just expecting more because of Lie to Me. It made such a huge impact on me. But look, it's good. It's just not as good. So that disappointed me. But it is unfair to, take 2 books and compare them, even from the same author.
Yeah. It's funny that you said that about Mark reading it though, because Mitch said to me the other day, because like he obviously is very sweet and he listens to all our podcasts, but he said, you and Jade make me want to read a thriller, which I've been trying to get him to read a thriller for so long. So we need to think of a good one to start him on.
Yeah, I need to do the same with Mark. So Mark was like, yeah, it was brilliant, but then he looks at me and like, he's very cheeky and he goes, but I think you can do better. So I was like, oh, what should I give him to read?
See, Mitch has seen Gone Girl. So, like, I don't know if he'd get much enjoyment from reading it. But I don't know what he would start with. Because he said to me, oh, maybe I'll read the Carolyn Overington one. And I said, I don't know. That's more of like, I think I would want like a really creepy thriller rather than like a domestic thriller. Like one that really puts you on the edge of your seat.
Yeah, and I think for a man they want something more with like police investigations and maybe a bit of gore and
Scrublands, but I don't even know if like that's thrillery enough.
Yeah, and it's a very thick book to keep a man entertained.
Yeah.
But, and like, if they don't normally read a book, then I think it's a bit much.
He's very dedicated to hitting his reading goal this year, so you need to give him something good that'll keep him reading.
Yeah, so listeners, if you want to recommend us some good books for our men,
maybe Mitch and Mark can do a buddy read.
I love how they're like Mitch and Mark.
Mitch and Mark.
That's so cool. I never even thought about that. Yeah, so they could do like a buddy read, and we can get our partners
Mark
to
buddy read. Hashtag Mitch and Mark buddy read.
Yeah. And, like, so if you recommend us some books for them that you think that, like, 2 lovely Australian men that are rugged and manly and stuff would enjoy.
Have your partners read anything that they really liked?
And if we decide that we're going to pick yours, and if they love it, perhaps we could do a giveaway of one of the shirts, one of our podcast shirts, if they love the book. We'll obviously be very honest, and if they like it, you can win a Books and Booze shirt.
They're very comfortable. I got mine the other day, I forgot to tell you.
Did you?
Yeah, it arrived yesterday. I had it on yesterday. Now, very comfortable, everybody.
I feel really bad, though, because, like, you were so sweet and got me that, like, unwind candle, and it was, like, a nice little message, and then mine was just, like put into a bag, and I didn't even have like nice sweet messages. I was like, oh shit. I need to be more thoughtful. I used to be. I don't know where it's gone. I used to love buying people presents and stuff. I just haven't had like money to buy people presents lately. On that note, we have a Patreon page. Our Patreon page we'll leave in the show notes, and if you would like to support our podcast, there's some great, things that you could win from donating as little as $2 a month to us. So just think about it. To book lovers, if you listen to us and our banters about books and wine and everything else that goes on in our day-to-day lives, then please support us. And, there's great things to come on this podcast if you do. Anyway, so another thing that I actually wanted to talk about was, I don't know which one to start with. So I've got two other things that I really want to talk about. One is the Brisbane Writers Festival that I just attended, or the other one is my health and mental health well-being. Which one should I start with?
Do the Writers Fest first, and then health.
Alright, so Brisbane Writers Festival, obviously I interviewed AJ Finn, it was our last episode, and it was amazing. I was very starstruck, and I was devastated that Kiara couldn't come on and be interviewed, obviously. I was very nervous, and it was 10 o'clock in the morning, so there was no wine involved, which made me very scared.
Yeah. Today it was 11 o'clock when we started, so wine was okay.
Yes.
What a difference an hour makes.
Saturday. Exactly.
Actually, on AJ Finn, how many people have said to you, oh my god, he's so beautiful?
Yeah, he's such a hottie.
Everybody is like, oh my god, he's gorgeous. I'm like, yeah, he's pretty cute.
All the ones that bat for the other side, like, it's sad. Like, it's great. Like, for the men out there that bat for the other side, it's great for you guys. But for us,
your friend, what's his
imagine.
name?
Yeah, Andrew. He was like, my non-existent ovaries are bursting.
It's so funny, right? Because, like, obviously, you and I share ownership of the Instagram, and obviously, so like you see like some of my friends' stuff, and I see some of your friends' stuff, and so like I feel like I know like him because I watch his stories, but like I've never talked to him because I'm like, oh, what if I message him and he thinks that I'm Jade or like something like that? It's funny, isn't it? Like I never know.
End it with Kiara.
I know. I think that's sometimes what we need to do because some people like we'll ask a question or whatever, and then I'll be like, oh, does Kiara have a YouTube page? And I'll be like, no, I don't, Kiara.
Yes. But, yeah, so Andrew actually, what's his Instagram? Let me just double check, because his Instagram is actually
beautiful. I have actually commented on him from Books Booze Pod and said, like, he's like changed his theme recently, and it's gorgeous.
Yeah. I was really sad though, because his old theme is gorgeous, and he's like, not deleted them, but he's archived all the old images, and,
has he?
Like yeah, so you can't even see the old images anymore, and I thought they were stunning, so, but let me just check what he was. Andrew, where are you, honey bunny? I can't find him.
Sorry, he commented on the AJ Finn one, so maybe...
But anyway, while we're busy finding it.
Okay, so he's at okay, so Booksickly.
Okay, so Booksickly. Yes. And he's fantastic. He also loves Harry Potter.
He's very funny too. I like watching his Insta stories. I think they're funny.
And he loves wine, so he's soul cis brother.
Right. It's a brother.
Cis brother.
Hi, I've never met you. Hi, I'm Kiara.
So yes, a special thank you and shout out to him. We'll leave his Instagram in the show notes too because it is really stunning and you should go and give it a follow.
Thank you, embarrassed.
It was wonderful. And then
we're talking about go listen to that one and see how Jade embarrassed her friend Andrew.
Well, so I also at the Brisbane Writers Festival there was a Murderino from My Favorite Murder, Murderino meetup. So My Favorite Murder is a fantastic podcast, and a lot of the girls got together to go to the true crime book events, and we got wine afterwards, and it was just so wonderful to meet other people in Brisbane because I am new here and I don't have many friends and stuff, so it was so nice. And I'm actually going out this evening by myself. I'm very nervous because I have anxiety, but I'm going out this evening to a charity event for the Brisbane Murderinos. And Mark is going off to watch the footy finals. So It's going to be exciting. But I went to... Oh, God, I don't know. Who is it?
Broncos?
What? Who are they playing against?
I have no idea who's even playing tonight.
I think it's what, Hawthorn and...
Oh, so he follows AFL, not NRL.
Yeah.
Yes.
But as for NRL, I think we're a bit torn because, like, being here, we want to support the Broncos, which is Brisbane, but also, you know, he's from New South Wales, he's from Albury.
Oh, yep. So, does he follow Cam? No, who does he follow?
He loves, he'll probably laugh at me, Carlton AFL or NRL.
Oh, okay, yeah, he's Carlton supporter. So is my brother-in-law, very passionate Carlton supporter.
They're very passionate, and I'm like, shit, why are you supporting them? And Mark's like, if you don't support them, my family won't like you. And I was like,
maybe it's a Mark thing, because my brother-in-law's name is Mark. And he's Carlton supporter, so maybe Mark support Carlton.
Well, maybe we're somehow related. Maybe Mark is like the brother-in-law. That would be so funny.
He's married. So he leads a double life, and he's married to my Mitch's sister.
No, that would not work. You know, if you were like estranged, maybe
it might
this
work
would be an
in
awkward thing. This could be the book that we're planning on writing together. We are planning on writing a book together. Oh, no, shush. I am.
Are we announcing that yet?
Okay, so AJ Finn was amazing. The Murderino group at the Brisbane Writers Festival, they took me to The Trauma Cleaner by Sarah Krasnostein. That I hadn't read the book when I went to the talk. And I wasn't sure if I was even going to go to the talk, but so I was so surprised because AJ Finn's event at the talk that I went to was only a quarter of the seats were filled, whereas the Trauma Cleaner, every seat was sold out, and I was like, wow, this is incredible. And I read the book, I listened to it on Audible, and it was fantastic. I absolutely loved it, gave it 5 stars. It's a memoir, and it's so unusual. It's this chick called Sandra. So Sarah's writing it for Sandra, and it's Sandra's transition into a woman because she was born a boy and she identified as a woman, obviously, and she had a terrible upbringing, but it's also about how business savvy she is. And she started this business. It's a real business called STC, Specialized Trauma Cleaning, and it's all about the cases that she goes through. So it alternates between Sandra's life and also the clients that she had in this trauma cleaning business. It deals with sex workers, abusive relationships, sexual abuse, hoarders, but every one of these things is done with so much respect, and it was so touching. I loved the book, and I'm so honoured to have been able to meet her at the festival. Another one is Bree Lee. I went to her event for her book called Eggshell Skull, which I still haven't read, but it looks beautiful.
Is gorgeous.
Yeah, it's pink, which I don't think really matches Thrillers, but it's got this skull on it, and it's quite a soft pink, so it's...
Is it embossed? There's a flat. I love embossed covers. It's gorgeous, it photographs so nicely.
Yeah.
Because I saw the girls from, was it Better Words?
Yeah, Better Words podcast.
They also went to that one too, didn't they?
Yeah, I met them. They are so lovely. Really, really lovely girls. So, we're actually, I don't know if I told you this, we're going to do a four-way. We're going to do a four-way Skype call and just interview each other about our podcasts.
I did see a few things in the messages, but yeah, very exciting.
Yes. So the last thing that I want to talk about is my mental health and well-being, which Mark's been telling me for a while because I've stopped seeing my therapist in Brisbane. I wasn't getting much out of it. She was more used to dealing with children and children with trauma issues and anxiety and stuff, and I just wasn't finding that she was the right fit for me. So Mark and I got into a bit of a bicker, and he was like, you need to do something. So while he was away, while I was at the Brisbane Writers Festival. He was away on a fishing trip, and I decided to download Talkspace, which is, I think it's like $200 and something a month, and that's amazing because my psychologist I was seeing in Brisbane is $200 a session for an hour. Now, this girl that I'm talking to, so it's $200 and something a month, but she speaks to me, she messages me 5 days a week, and she just checks in, and I'm slowly telling her about my life and why I'm anxious and about my past, and like the rapes and the bad relationship and my ex-fiance that went missing, and abusive relationships. Like, I'm slowly telling her everything, and the alcoholism in my family, and it's just been so wonderful to actually write it down in my own time and not feel like I'm pressured to doing it within one restricted hour.
Yeah.
So Talkspace, like, a lot of podcasts have been talking about it. So I was like, well, I'm just going to try it. And I think if you cancel, there's no cancellation fee and you can cancel at any time. But so far I'm really enjoying it. And I've been on a bit of a health kick. Like, yeah, I still enjoy my wine, but I've been doing MyFitnessPal. It's a Play Store app where you can count your calories, which is something I wouldn't be good at by myself. So this thing, you can just like document what you eat and what you drink every day, and it calculates your calorie intake, and it's also pretty cool. So like if you have like a green tea or something, it'll say like, oh yeah, this is really high in vitamin C. So it gives you like cute little bits. And like, so the other day I didn't eat enough, and it wouldn't let me complete my diary for the day. It was like, oh no, if you carry on this way, you're going to get unhealthy results. So it's actually really cool, the MyFitnessPal app. But yeah, I'm trying to get in better shape for my holiday that I just booked to Madagascar and South Africa.
Very exciting.
Yes.
Very nice.
Yeah, I've just been feeling very healthy and good, and now I'm having some wine because it's the weekend, although I've had wine every day during the week too, but
well, life is for living too.
Mm-hmm. Yes, but you know what the funniest thing is though? Since I've been like counting all my calories and eating healthy and doing lots of like NutriBullet smoothies and stuff, I normally get home after work and I love my glass of wine and a pack of salt and vinegar chips. That's who I am. And this last week, I've been juicing and kind of trying to be more like strict on not eating unhealthy stuff. So like last night, there was chips and chocolate and all sorts around me. And I didn't even want it. I didn't even have a craving. I was like, what the hell is this? This isn't me.
Well, that's what they say. It's all about, like, changing your mindset.
Yeah. I was just so surprised. I was like, wow, this is really weird. Like, it doesn't sound like me at all. I love my chips. And there was salt and vinegar chips, which is like it's like my cocaine. So, yeah, but, I'm feeling pretty happy, so that's my my busy banter.
Very nice.
Yeah. Anyway, so do you have anything else to say, or are we gonna get on with our bookish days?
I think we'll get on with our days, but you can find us on Instagram at booksboozepod. You can find us on Twitter at the same. Jade is boho_bookworm. I am bookish.kiki. We also have email addresses now, so for anything general, it's hello@books. Bless you.
Hello, Roger.
I was on a roll.
Sorry, I really needed to. I was like, don't look towards the lights.
hello@booksboozepod.com. Jade is jade@booksboozepod.com. I am Kiara at booksboozepod.com. We have a Patreon where you can donate as little as $2 a month to help us out, and everything we get goes back into our show. If you have any questions, let us know. If you want to do any buddy reads, let us know. If you want to read Harry Potter with us, let us know. If you have any recommendations for shows, let us know. Talk to us, please. We love it.
That was perfect. We should do that for every episode. Can you breathe yet?
With the sneeze?
Maybe edit that part out. Okay. We will see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.